player in shot, Danielle Collins, up against Caroline Dolehide, fellow American, for a place in round 2. It's a warm, warm day here at Flushing Meadows. Another day of action about to get underway.
Not surprising, we say this often, but the serve is going to be such a key factor in this game. One, it sets up Collins in particular to be able to get that first strike on the ball, which is the type of game she likes to play. She likes to dictate.
It's a fairly calm day there in New York, so no wind to really have to take into consideration, although it's fairly sheltered, this court, isn't it? So even if it is breezy, down on the playing surface it's got pretty steep sides, the stands that go up and up and up inside Louis Armstrong. Magnificent court that is filling up, and it will continue to do so. I'm sure the upper tier is unticketed, so if you've got a grounds pass, it's a good destination to head to.
I always liked this court. It just had such a nice, intimate feel to it. I mean, Ash is beautiful as well, but a lot bigger court, especially the surroundings, but this one is so nice.
Oh, very nice. Sweetly struck.
I just guessed right on that. Did a good job of using Collins' pace against her in this instant. Just kept that backswing nice and short. Took it early.
It's a tidy opening service game, though, from the number 11 seed. I think you referred to it during the warm-up, Jill. We were
full of trust between the two because of their history. He said his dad was helping Danielle way back when also, and of course Ryan, a former great American player himself, he was kind of funny because he was like, look, I was temperamental. I know Danielle can sometimes be temperamental, but we have this complete understanding of each other. It was pretty funny. But to answer your question, yeah, I think everyone was surprised, especially I think you don't tend to announce your retirement when you're having some of the best success on the tour. I think that's what was so surprising about it.
It's a clean start to the second game from a seeded player. In the world, Collins at the moment. An incredible season, as Jill was just saying. It's so unusual to be talking about a player retiring from the sport who's so high up the rankings. That's the unusual elements surrounding Danielle's final season.
I think she did give us a pretty good insight, right?
Yeah.
Where that decision came from. Of course, she's struggled with a couple things health-wise as far as rheumatoid arthritis, endometriosis, and family is extremely important to her. So she wants to take a step back and start a family while she's still, relatively young.
Wow, what a return game that was. Makes a real statement. Ryan Harrison will be delighted with the opening 5 minutes.
And that's what she can do. I mean, she can literally play lights out and take the racket out of your hands. And for someone like Dolehide, she's not going to be surprised. I mean, they've played each other numerous times. She knows what to expect from Collins, and right now it's about just digging deep, because the more balls you can get back in play, the better you can defend. Just to put that pressure on Collins to maybe go for more. That's just good. That's just really good depth.
15 mark.
She's only dropped 1 point so far. Danimal. It's one of her nicknames.
It is. I like it.
Danielle as well, isn't there? With the emphasis on the yell. It's been part of what we've enjoyed over the years.
That's great.
This is seriously good level, isn't it, early on? For a first match of the tournament.
She's come out extremely focused. Is moving up to these short balls very well. Dolehide's going to have to try and get a little bit more depth on that return if she can. That's better.
30-15.
Miami champion earlier this season. That was a special tournament for Danielle Collins. WTA 1000 title, of course. Was part of a 13-match win streak during that part of the calendar. Stretched into Charleston as well, just after Miami. On both of those tournaments. Nicely.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One of Dolehide's best rallies of the match, and did a good job of defending there, just trying to get one more back in play. And I have to say it was impressive from Collins, because she took a little pace off a couple of those shots to stay in the rally and waited for the right moment to lift that pace up.
Second double. Even despite the fast start, she'll want to come through this service game and make sure she carries the momentum into the sit down.
That court just changing up the rhythm. And the way Collins hugs that baseline so much, just didn't have as much time to adapt.
Just taking a moment here, Danielle Collins, to compose herself ahead of facing her first break point. 25 seconds between the points. Slight change to what you may have been watching the last few weeks, where the shot clocks were starting automatically. Nice forehand. It's at the umpire's discretion here at the US Open, which I think helps maybe on some of these bigger stadium courts, because it just allows players to get to the towel, and if they've been involved in a particularly grueling point or a long exchange in these hot conditions as well.
Danielle Collins.
Still not through this service game. It's been a pretty good response from the lower ranks of these two.
I liked that forehand from Dolehide because finally had maybe a little extra time on that ball and took the risk, went for a lot more on the forehand. Another look at Jorge Tadero. Well executed. I don't mind the change up there from Dolehide, that slice, but right now it's just mostly landing a couple inches past the service line, so got to get that ball slightly deeper if you want to test Collins.
Long game into a 7th minute. Another chance, the 11th seed, to wrap this up. Yeah, that's a really good combination. We'll be delighted to come through that tricky service game. And overall, it's been a perfect start. The shopping on offer here for the fans on site on day 2. It's been a fabulous start to the US Open, and that includes last week, known as the Fan Week these days. Big part of the US Open, very much a 3-week event that has grown and grown over the recent years. Reading this morning that, in fact, the opening day yesterday, opening day of main draw action, drew the biggest single-day crowd in the history of the tournament. 74,641
I saw that.
through the gates.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
Can't believe that many people fit. I mean, there's a lot of space here.
All-time night session record yesterday as well. That was 31,775. Incredible angle from where she was.
15-30.
Dropped inside the service box, this backhand.
Yeah, excellent serve. Just not as flat and hard with that choice from Dolehide. A little bit more kick and spin. It just gives Collins a slightly different look. Collins got a little bit lucky there. Just got caught between whether to take that ball out of the air, let it bounce, and ended up hitting not the best half volley. Tough miss there from Dolehide. I think it took her by surprise that she had so much time on the ball.
It's been a tough start. This is an important game if she's going to start to get involved in this first set. Just to get that scoreboard moving sooner rather than later.
coming back so fast.
Advantage Collins.
Collins not having to move away from that ball that much, just sat there up right in her strike zone. First serve, very important for Dolehide. Right now it's 64%. Has to get a little bit higher to make an impact.
Whoa, that's a good catch. That was an unbelievable catch by that gentleman. We were right above that, and that was traveling at speed, and he just plucked it out of the air. It was almost as good as this forehand. Leaning back, one hand. It's got to go on the highlights reel, that catch. It's one of the best I've seen.
That was really good.
Advantage Dolehide.
Great reactions.
His moment of fame. It's on the big screen at the moment, as he noticed. So chance to reduce the gap. And she does. That will feel good. It will help us settle.
Collins leads 3 games to 1. First set.
Something to build on.
Yeah, I think Caroline knows she's just got to keep digging. She's going to be having to play some defensive moments because she knows Danielle's just going to keep going after the ball. But good job to get on the board.
Just a quick reminder to download the US Open app, where you can follow your favorite players, track the scores and stats, match highlights on there as well, all the news, and all the new elements of the US Open as well. If you're watching from around the world, or maybe you're visiting over the next few days as well, we've got live 3D views of all the singles matches as well. That's available on the App Store and Google Play Store. Essential app on the device early in the first week. There's so much tennis to try to keep track of. Oh,
wow.
Goodness me.
Love 15.
A perfect forehand return. I thought this might be just dropping long, but it must have just caught the back edge of the line.
God, that came back so fast. I was well struck by Dolehide, and sometimes it's those moments that can maybe start to change things around, start to feel a little bit more confident.
Love 13.
Certainly more competitive than it was in the first 5 minutes or so.
Out. 15-13.
Mentioned yesterday briefly, Jill and I were on the Coco Golf match that the women are using the slightly lighter balls this year. That's a change from 2023. That was a decision that was made by the WTA and then passed on to the US Open. You were saying yesterday they'll just be flying a little bit
That's right.
more than certainly last year, particularly in these warm conditions.
It's a great touch. It's amazing how different they are between the regular duty and the extra duty, and that's what the women are playing with, are the regular duty. They're much lighter. They go through the air a lot faster. It feels like it's just flying off your racket. Some players love it. Some players sometimes struggle to be able to feel more control of the ball. I actually think both of these players would love it. It's just about adapting and getting used to it. The more you can go out and hit and train, the more you'll get used to that ball.
just starting to feel it off the forehand side, isn't she? That was the shot that you told us to look out for during the warm-up.
As far as Dolehide, yeah, she. I mean, I like the way she hits her for it, and it's got great depth. She can change it up. She can strike through it, hit a little flatter, but she also has the capability of hitting that higher, heavier ball. So it's about utilizing that, making the right choices at the right time, and when to throw that ball in.
Just starting to create a couple of chances on the Collins serve. Can she break back here? Bit of noise from Danielle.
She started to make a couple more unforced errors, and I think this is why she had, just encouraging herself a little bit, because that was a great point, struck through that ball nicely.
Something that she's become known for over the years, the passion that she brings to the tennis court, never afraid to display that.
Advantage Collins.
And that's why fans love watching her. Tennis fans always appreciate getting an insight into players' personality, how much they care about the sport as well. Another good hold, another tricky game on serve, but another one she's come through. On the grounds just outside Louis Armstrong Stadium, the second biggest show court here at Arthur Ashe. But this is a beauty of a facility, just right next door to Arthur Ashe Stadium. And it's a seriously good order of play on this court today. If you're lucky enough to have a ticket, Collins and Dolehide up first. We've got Ostapenko taking on Naomi Osaka in the second match on this court. Then Lajovic plays Medvedev, and then tonight Andreescu up against Jasmine Paolini, one of the standout first round matches. Tommy Paul's in action as well.
15 all.
Good tickets.
Seriously, good tickets anywhere, really.
Yeah.
If you look at the lineup.
I always feel like the US Open is perhaps the best of the majors in terms of having a grounds pass, because you can come into this court for starters.
Right.
You're going to have to be on your toes and get in fairly early, aren't you? But it's a huge block of seating in the upper tier, the upper bowl, I think, as you guys call it, for anyone with a grounds pass who wants to get in here and mark their territory for the day.
Which some people do. I don't blame them.
But you can do the same on grandstand.
Yep.
Certain sections of grandstand you can get in as a
know,
grounds
it's
pass
awesome.
holder. Stadium 17 as well.
And you got to get in early, because those courts get pretty packed. I mean, they even put big matches on court 5 and court 6. It's just incredible for the fans.
Yeah, Felix Auger-Aliassime in action on court 5 at the moment. Jack Draper on there later, Leila Fernandez. And that's just kind of a regular outside court, isn't it? Just with a...
It's got such a nice feel to
yeah,
it.
9 or 10 rows of seats, though. It's pretty intimate.
And they've got some stands in the back. And it overlooks the practice courts where a lot of the top seeds are practicing. And Dolehide a little bit of trouble here, just feeling the pressure of having to hit a bigger serve, throwing in her first double fault of the match. Got a little bit more height throughout that rally, Dolehide. Knowing how important it is for her to get that depth on her normal rally ball.
Great depth on the return. Brings up another opportunity to reassert her authority. Just give her a bit of breathing space if she can steal another break here. And she does. It's just when things were starting to feel maybe just a little bit tighter, that's a great time to break. Ryan's pleased with his player's work there.
It's so difficult when you're playing Collins, when she's playing this aggressively. I mean, she's so on top of the ball, and yes, it's normal that she's going to make a couple unforced errors. Dolehide has had a couple break chances, but she never backs down, and so you just feel that constant pressure of her consistently being on top of the ball.
Good focus though, just one or two people just making their way to the seats. That's a new feature of the US Open this year, a bit more fan movement. It's always been part of the tournament towards the tops of these bigger stadiums, but something the US Open has introduced this year. It's a nice finish.
The other thing that Collins is doing so well right now, too, is anything that's been lofted in the air, she's been taking it out of the air, not letting that ball bounce, not letting Dolehide get that settled on the baseline.
2 points away from finishing off this first set. It's a nice readjustment to get the body into position, create space to take on the forehand. 15th winner of the set. It's impressive. Brings up 3 set points. And that will do it. Winner number 16 during that opening set. Ryan Harrison delighted with what he's been watching. And finished it off in style, 6-1. There goes the one. So far, so good then for the number 11 seed. Dolehide trailing by a set will get this second set underway. The sun in her eyes. Feels like the sun's in an awkward position from that far end at the moment, just testing the ball toss a couple of times. Whether that was a factor. Coming up to noon here in New York. Bright sunshine up there. It's a pretty good forecast for the tournament as a whole. With a chance of 1 or 2 pop-up showers today and perhaps tomorrow. It's going to be hot and sticky tomorrow, and then the temperature, I believe, is just going to drop off a touch from Thursday, a bit more comfortable, sort of in the 70s, which is probably good news for everybody, players and the fans.
That's what my app says too. Hopefully it's true. Tomorrow's going to be a tough day. I think it's just going to be pretty muggy tomorrow. I like those choices of serve in this game, using the kick serve as a first serve a little bit more often, trying to get that ball out of Collins' strike zone.
Very good doubles player, Dolehide, something we haven't really touched on so far. A lot of success on the doubles court. High up in the race this year with Desiree Kravchuk, fellow American. In fact, it's not inconceivable, is it, that both of these players could make it to the tour finals.
True,
one in singles and one in doubles.
Yeah, her Kravchuk have had a great year. Just started playing together in January and just won the, well, for Dolehide, her biggest title of her career in Toronto. Came away with that WTA 1000 title.
Good start to the second, good reaction, good attitude.
First game, second set.
That's what she's going to need if she's going to turn this one around.
That's good recovery as well. Started that game. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's what she did on the serve, trying to get it out of the strike zone of Collins. And that's the one area that Dolehide obviously can control, is using that kick serve a little bit more often. It's more difficult, I would say, once Collins gets you on your back foot, and she hits so flat sometimes that it's tough to create shape off of a hard, flatter ball. But just for Caroline's mindset to have that intent, that's what she'll be going for.
Quick shot there of where the instructions are coming from. That's Caroline's coach. You answered the question.
More racket head speed, yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about the word shape that we use quite a lot in the sport. If there's anyone maybe new to tennis, you know, we get new fans all the time, don't we? You answered it partially, I think, but maybe after this point, just give us an idea of what he's referring to in terms of the word shape. How you achieve that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, what racket head speed is one that if you go through the air in the ball with more acceleration, you can create more shape, which means more height over the net, more spin, and then when you have more height and more spin off the bounce, that ball is going to jump off the court a little bit higher on your opponent, and that's what she needs to do. That's what she did in her last service game with her serve. It just got above the shoulders more. On Collins, it was out of that strike zone, which is near her hip height, which is exactly where Danielle likes the ball.
Yeah, and sometimes it's difficult. It's an element of the sport, isn't it, that's difficult to pick up from watching TV, just how much these balls get up, particularly off these courts in the States this time of year.
And when it's warmer, like a warmer day today, it's actually easier to get more of that bounce off the court and get it to jump higher.
It's a clean hit, almost knocked her off balance there.
That was a lot more acceleration. And she went for it, which I like here from Dolehide. She actually caught that ball behind her, but she made the choice to go after that more acceleration. Whether she made it or missed it, she was willing to just go after it, and it paid off.
So here's a chance to make a fast start to this second set. Second serve to take on as well. And she breaks. Well, well, well.
Dolehide leads 2 games to love. Second set.
Kick wide, both sides. Accelerate, accelerate.
Instructions coming
That's
thick
been
and
the
fast.
key thing, to just keep accelerating. Yeah, she did that exceptionally well on the last 2 shots. At last return in particular, it just shot through the court faster.
Love 15.
It's been a good response after a one-sided first set. Accepted the challenge quickly. Going with that slower, spinnier serve, just around 90 miles an hour, that first serve.
I would still love to see Dolehide maybe use the body serve a little bit more. It can be tricky because if you don't get the depth on it and it lands too short, it gives Collins time, and that's the last thing you want to give her. But if you can get that into her body, because she takes the return so early.
It's a really good combination. Had time to pick her spot with that final forehand.
She moves around this one so well, and she gets such a great shoulder turn that you pretty much have to pick and choose where you think she's going to hit the ball. You have to guess at that stage because she disguises it so well.
$15-14.
You have to serve wide, Caroline. Come on. Out.
30-14.
Another chance for Collins. Hit back quickly. Yeah, good return game. Really lovely finish. Made that final forehand look easy. Beautiful control as well as aggression. Airport from around the world.
Out.
15 love. 15 all.
Looks like she's going to change racket after that fourth double fault of the match. A couple in this set. I would imagine probably going for a racket that's just a little bit tighter for a bit more control, particularly in these warm conditions. The tighter strings offer a bit more control.
$15-30.
Struggling all of a sudden. The rhythm on serve, a couple of double faults, just changed the racket. Still not achieving the desired consistency. In danger of going a breakdown once more.
So good at being able to hit the backhand angle off the court exceptionally well. It's very accurate with that shot. Just spreads the court so well. And then this put away doesn't have to be right on the line. Just gets the court open.
Struggling with the first serve percentage in this second set. And success behind the second serve.
Out.
Advantage, Collins.
I just feel like this is where the attitude can help. If you have a positive attitude, even though it's been a scrappy service game, sometimes it can make the difference.
It really can. Yeah, it just gives you that extra boost, a little bit more energy. She's very good at that. I think that's been a big asset for her.
Juice.
Even that response from that mistake that Collins just made, she's actually encouraging herself, and that's what the top players do the best, is their willingness to let go of a mistake or a frustration very quickly.
Shame she missed the forehand, because there's another backhand that allowed her to take control of the point.
Well, it's excellent defending. I think Dolehide made a move in the right direction, took that forehand cross court away from Collins, forcing her to go down the line. It's a trickier shot to hit off of a slice.
It's a big serve, big reaction. That felt good.
I mean, that's a good indication. You see how much she wants it.
Some of those fans just behind her front row seats to that sort of reaction. Well, that's so cool. I love that. Love that passion.
It's good to see it. Yeah, I like it too.
She find a way through this service game. Another double fault. That's 3 in the game now. 6 for the match. Often see a player survive this sort of service game if you've thrown in 3 double faults, but maybe Collins can. Break point number 3.
I think Dolehide was expecting another out wide serve there, just leaning to her left.
Last, Professor.
Out.
The placement is so good on that serve, and as soon as she sees Dolehide in trouble, she's already on top of that ball, 3 or 4 feet inside the baseline, looking for that return.
It's a nice pass. We're still going in this 4th game. Heading towards 10 minutes or so now.
That's great control from Dolehide. Only had to take 1 step, but still can be tricky to redirect when it's that powerful of an approach shot. Did well there.
Both players still battling away. Game number 4, set number 2. Goodness me, she hits that backhand so well, doesn't she?
That's her. Yeah, that's her best shot.
Advantage Collins.
I mean, you can see anything middle ball. I mean, it is coming pretty fast off the return, but she prefers to run around and take that backhand whenever possible.
There we go. Game duration over 10 minutes.
Juice.
one creeps in.
Advantage Dolehide.
7 double faults for the match. 5 of those in this set, 4 in this game. So another chance for the world number 49. Could prove to be a big game if this one slips away from Collins. Often the longer these games go on, the more significant they become. Fair bit of pressure on this second serve. Well done, good composure. Just took a moment to steady herself.
And didn't try and go for the line on that backhand. Knew her core position was going to be effective as far as being able to rush. Dolehide kept her margins very well on that first strike on the ball.
What Ryan Harrison's thinking behind those shades. Deuce number 7 into a 13th minute.
Advantage Collins.
Second set has already been going 28 minutes, running in the 4th game. The entire first set only took 32 minutes. And we're still going.
Oh, great job on that approach. She hasn't been getting that many short balls to deal with, but every time she's gotten one has executed extremely well.
Which way is this game going to go? Another first serve missed. Putting herself under an awful lot of pressure, starting so many of these points with second serves. A couple of big hits. That forehand working nicely again. And another opportunity. Can she convert this time? Just over a quarter of an hour now, this service game. It's great tennis, it really is. Digging deep.
Such a strong point from Collins on break point. Just does not hold back.
More muted reaction that time. Back to deuce. And now a chance to finally hold serve.
Advantage Collins.
She'd give for a first serve here. Can't imagine we've had too many service games longer than this so far at the US Open during the opening 2 days. And she wraps it up with an ace. No wonder coach is on his feet. That was a Titanic service game that has eventually gone the way of Danielle Collins, and we'll see how significant that hold of serve becomes. Quite rightly just taking a moment to recover from that previous game. 16 minutes and 46 seconds. Very quick reminder to head to usopen.org. That's the online home for all the live scoring, highlights, real-time stats, and all the draws. It's the official US Open website, usopen.org. Full schedule on there. Day 2 here at the Open. Flushing Meadows.
This
is always interesting, Jill, isn't it? Seeing how a player reacts after missing those chances and losing that sort of game in terms of what Caroline Dolohide's thinking right now. Almost no time to push all that to the back of your mind and focus on another service game.
It is interesting. I mean, we should always take it as the fact that you're applying that pressure on the Collins serve, and that she had to work hard to be able to get herself out of that challenging game. So it's a positive, but you're right. You never know how someone's going to bounce back, how they're going to react when you feel like maybe you weren't able to convert on one of those break points.
And it often frees up the player who's just survived that game as well, doesn't it?
It can, yeah, it can. I mean, Collins swings pretty free already.
They'll both be looking forward to the change of ends after that previous game on a hot day. One of those days when you've got to manage the body if you're on court today.
Great depth on that return.
30-14.
That one was pretty high above her shoulders as well. Did a good job of using that left arm on that backhand a little bit more, just to get more depth, more strength behind that shot.
Better conversion rate for the seeded player today. 3 of 6 have gone her way. See if she can break for a 4th time. Not just yet.
Jeez.
That's well played. It was an awkward lob that she threw up.
Again, just not enough to the sideline with that approach shot. That's a tough shot. Dolehide actually did a great job of getting that ball, because it went pretty far behind her. Tried to snap that ball down to get some power, and then just got scrambled, got caught in the middle of the court. Wasn't quite sure where to be on that next shot.
Breakpoint number 2. Chance to go up a set and a break for Danielle Collins. It's a double fault this time from Dolehide, and Collins takes control.
Collins leads 3 games 2-2. Second set.
Good passage of play for the seeded player. She is in On a warm day, very warm day, it's going to be tough for the players today and tomorrow. Collins will be hoping to wrap this up pretty quickly now. Up a set and a break, 3-2 serving. Important to conserve energy if you can this stage of the tournament. You never quite know what might happen. These draws can open up. Is she in which category do you put Danielle Collins in terms of having a deep run here? A possibility?
I think so. I think she's always dangerous.
Okay.
I mean,
I think so too.
She's gotten to the finals of a slam before, of course, in Australia a couple years ago. And I think she's got the capability 100% with the game that she plays. And if she's feeling good, I think she has a huge chance to go very deep.
So maybe in that second group of players, maybe not one of the 4 or 5 favourites, but
I think so. I mean, you would agree.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
15 all.
you never know. It could be a fairy tale, couldn't it? A fairy tale of New York at a final major. That would be a nice story. Top half of the draw. These two, that's the half we're focusing on today. So that's the half that, of course, features the world number 1 Iga Swiatek at the top of the draw. A few other big names.
15-30.
Just looking at where Collins is in the draw, Jill. She potentially would run into Jess Pegula, the number 6 seed. What would that be? 4th round. If they both get that far.
If they go, yeah.
Jess has been playing well this summer.
Yeah, she's been playing great. Winner another WTA Masters 1000 in Toronto, beating Anisimova in the final.
And then if they play in the 4th round, it's all ifs and buts at this stage, isn't it? But if they were to play in the 4th round, the winner of that would probably play Swiatek in the last 8. See how Iga goes over the next few days. Elena Rybakina are in this half as well. She's the number 4 seed.
A lot of hard hitters in that section.
Ostapenko and Osaka.
Oh, goodness.
They play next
Talk
on
about hard hitting.
Yeah, next on this court.
Can't imagine there'd be a lot of long rallies in that match, but you never know.
Jasmine Paolini in this half as well. Going to be interesting to see what she can do after French Open and Wimbledon finals. Nice change up.
30-40.
Paolini playing Andreescu today, former champion.
So many good first round matches. It's incredible. Handled these break points exceptionally well, just buckled down and got very solid in that rally.
Yes.
Stayed with the percentages as well, stayed with the cross court on both wings.
Yeah, it's a number that's starting to jump off the page now. She's saved 9 of 10 break points she's faced so far in the match. And 7 of 8 in this set alone.
Out.
No, missed it.
That's when she's been missing, is when she's had to force to take that ball down the line.
Advantage, Dolehide.
Again, covering the easier shot on this low ball. It's much easier to accelerate through and get that ball cross court when you have to change direction. You just saw she got a little close to that ball. That's the one that can be tougher to control.
Game, Dolehide.
Well, finally, she's able to make the most of one of those chances.
Second set.
Go wide with your serve. Big kick, big kick.
Dolehide's coach just very clearly saying go kick wide to Collins' forehand side on the serve. That is the wing that has produced more unforced errors in this match.
Well, there's the frustration all of a sudden coming to the surface. It's probably been simmering, hasn't it, for a few games now.
I think that has more to do with losing that last service game, just letting that break, letting Dolehide break back, or not letting her, but losing that break of serve.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. That's not going
Very good.
to improve Danielle Collins' mood.
Take your time.
30 love.
That's what she thought of it. Get a quick hold here. She'll be feeling like she's in a good position if she can get to the sit down at 4-3. Bit of frustration behind those ground strokes.
Sometimes can make it look so easy. It's almost like she's decided, okay, I'm gonna win this point no matter what, and produced excellent ball striking.
Very good. Very good. Now, go to the body.
14-15.
Body.
You may have heard Dolehide's coach asking for a body serve here, so let's see whether...
Getting very clear instructions.
Yeah. Let's see whether Caroline follows the orders. A massive return.
That was more of a body serve, but just not a ton on that ball.
Use your hand, Caroline. Use your hand.
Both coaches working hard at the moment. They recognize the significance of this stage of this set. More power from the number 11 seed.
Come on, Caroline. Come on.
She just feels like she's opened her shoulders in this
Keep white.
this 7th game, just taking a few more risks on return.
For the first walk. Come on.
I think she's got to continue to go to her strengths. It's when Collins has changed it up, where she's tried to take that forehand down the line, where she's made the mistakes, and that point she just kept going to what was comfortable, that forehand cross court. It was okay that Dolehide anticipated, just kept control in the point with her power.
A lot of close games in this set. I mean, 49 minutes, 50 now, it's just ticked over.
Collins.
We're still in the 7th game.
This one, right here.
Another service game. It's gone over the 5-minute mark. Of course, we had that 4th game that was over 16 minutes. Chance for Collins now. Just missed it.
Still a good strike on the ball. Barely missed that one on the sideline.
Very smart.
Advantage Dolehide. Game Dolehide.
And she survives. Good effort. Danielle Collins looking a little frustrated down the far end.
For Sir Collins.
Dolehide with the advantage as we head into the sharp end of this 2nd set. 4-3. Opportunity to turn the match around, especially with that most recent hold of serve, which has put the world number 49 up 4-3 in this 2nd set. It's been a crazy set. Lengthy games. We're not too far off the hour mark in this set alone. Hour and 25 on the clock. Collins serving 3-4. My weather information at the moment, it's saying 28 degrees Celsius, 65% humidity, and a real field temperature of 33 Celsius. So that gives you an idea of how uncomfortable it is on court, especially if we go into 3 sets. My test is always to ask my American friends if it's hot, because I know if it's hot for you guys, then it's a warm day. It's always hot for me when you come from the UK, but it's a warm one today, isn't it?
It is a warm one, yes. I would agree with that.
Very uncomfortable as a former player, or just
they would have played in a lot warmer conditions than this, and a lot more humid as well. I mean, it is warm, but it's not something that the players wouldn't have experienced before.
Tough combination.
We had the exact time to hit the drop shot with how well Collins was able to push Dolehide so far back with that nice topspin lob. Had a lot of room to play with, too, so didn't actually have to cut it that fine. Had a lot of height to that drop shot, but just the distance that Dolehide had to run was pretty long with how far back she was.
Out. 14-15.
Of course, just going back to the weather, if you want to get used to humidity, then base yourself in Florida, right? So.
Oh, what a game.
Yeah, beautiful strike to level the scores.
Yeah, I think so. That's why you see a lot of players training in Florida in the hot, humid conditions, because everything outside of that doesn't feel so bad.
It's easy after Florida, right? That was a quicker game. Pretty warm where you're based now as well. It's Indian Wells territory, isn't it?
It is very, especially in the summer.
Yeah. What do you get up to?
During Indian Wells, well, I'm not there.
Top temperatures, though? You must be checking the weather back home.
In the summer, the top is like 120. I don't know what that is in Celsius. What would that be? Almost 50, maybe, right? I'm not quite sure. Wouldn't be that high.
My brain can't even start to comprehend what 120 degrees Fahrenheit must feel like.
Well, it's hot. Luckily, I'm not there in the summer that often. But during Indian Wells tournament time, it's very pleasant.
Yeah. It's in March, isn't it, that big event?
30 love.
Dolehide in this set just doing a better job of getting set and ready right out of the gates off the serve. Reaction time is picked up exceptionally well.
Great tennis from both. Lovely variety. All-court tennis on display.
Yeah, it's great to see how Collins can mix it up throughout this point. I mean, we know her game so much as a fast, hard-hitting game, but the variety she showed there, being able to understand the length of the court on the lob and just to turn that point around. Not a bad serve from Dolehide. Just a nice stick return on the stretch on that slice from Collins.
Fascinating watching, just training my eyes on Danielle Collins getting ready for that backhand. There's so much work that goes into the preparation, isn't there? It's easy just to enjoy the end product, but a lot of footwork, a lot of small steps around the ball to get into a perfect position. Hours and hours of repetition on the practice courts. Yeah, got it. It's a good pass.
Advantage, Dolehide.
Just really smart about this point of being able to throw that short drop shot in, aware of where Collins was, held the backswing on this forehand well, waited for Collins to make a move.
It's been a tough set for Danielle Collins. That's what she thinks of the overhead. It is another hold of serve for the world number 49,
Dolehide leads 5
causing all sorts of problems. Collins has to hold here to avoid a deciding set.
Second serve. Love 15.
Worst possible start to the service game for the 11th seed. That's 9 double faults on the stats sheet now. Can she recover?
And that miss has a lot to do with the fact that Dolehide was covering that part of the court. And because she's getting those balls back, defending much better, Collins feels the extra need to press a little bit more.
Big trouble now. 4-5, love 30. Needs a first serve here. Just caught the edge of the line, so still with an opportunity to get a decent serve in the box to start the point. It's been an untidy service game.
Love 14.
Double faults and a couple of bad misses, and Dolehide with 3 set points.
And 15-14.
Set point number 2. Two saved.
So calm at the net there from Collins. Interesting, took a lot off that first serve, but kept control of the point beautifully. felt like did a better job there of not paying attention to where Dolehide was in the court. Just picked her shot, hit it, struck the ball well.
So a third chance. Can she convert here? Well, again, very calmly dealt with and saves all three.
Just very strong mentally about staying very present in these break point and set point chances for Dolehide.
Taking her time. She's got too much left on the shot clock, down to 3 seconds. Well, that was some hold of serve from Love 40, facing 3 set points, hence the game in style.
Well, she got very calm, I felt, in that game when she got down. Love 40 didn't rattle her at all. Did a great job of just really taking one step at a time. Stayed completely focused to be able to hold in that game.
It's gone back and forth this second set. No idea who's going to win it still.
Great deep defensive shot from Dolehide. Again, reacting much faster off the serve.
I haven't seen too much of that sort of positive energy, have we, from Danielle Collins as this set has gone on. There was a fair amount initially, something we talked about, but certainly the frustration has built and built for the number 11 seed. Desperately trying to just keep a lid on those emotions.
30-15.
It's a fine balance as a tennis player, isn't it? I'm sure you've been there a million times where, you know, this hasn't been the best tennis from Collins, particularly on serve today, but she's a couple of games away from winning the match, so you've got to, I suppose, keep reminding yourself of that.
Put things in perspective. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Put things in perspective. But Dolehide's played better.
Yeah.
The second, she's just getting more consistent, getting a lot of balls back in play.
Beauty of tennis, isn't it? In some respects, you've only got to be just a little bit better than the player down the far end of the court on that given day, and then you get a chance to come back the next day and improve on that. It's a sport of matchups. That's what makes it so fascinating.
I think that's why I mentioned earlier, it's so much about being willing to let go of things. You know, when you make a mistake or something is distracting you or frustrating you, the willingness to being able to let that go as quickly as possible is a big asset that you can have, that you can develop.
The crucial hold of serve.
Dolehide leads 6 games to 5. Second set.
And once more, Danielle Collins will have to come out and serve to stay in this set. 6-5. 7 days preceding the main draw event. Qualifying last week from Monday to Thursday, all sorts of entertainments put in place on the big show courts as well around the grounds. Music events, exhibitions as well, some of the former players. Again, Dolehide makes a quick start to a Danielle Collins service game.
That's something that changed as well in this set. She's using that slice a little bit more just to get some off-pace shots to Collins, force her to generate her own pace.
Missed it by a fraction, but again, as she was at 4-5, she's down love 30.
Love 30.
It's good for length. It must have just been a fraction wide. Electronic line calling in operation here at the US Open once more. Completely lost control of that backhand. You don't see that too often. And in trouble again now, having saved 3 set points in a last service game. 4-5 love 40. Here she is again. Inside a busy Louis Armstrong Stadium. A couple more set points to defend. Oh, this time it's good. What a way to
the corner.
Save set points.
Not a ton on that serve as well. Initially took some stuff off, some pace off just to be safe on that second serve, but incredible accuracy on the backhand.
Dolehide still with set point. 5th chance. This time she converts. And it is all to play for in this first round contest between these two Americans. Set apiece. We're going the distance inside Armstrong. Remember, this is her home major as well. There's an awful lot of potential on Danielle Collins this year for good reason. Of course, Caroline's aware of that as well, isn't there? So that's a different dynamic to this third set.
True, absolutely.
Got to try and block that out and be ruthless. So we're underway, deciding sets, first match of the day. Inside Louis Armstrong, day 2 here at the Open. Do get the sense that the lower ranks of these two, the world number 49, is in a much better place mentally right now. She's got better and better as this match has gone on. Got to give her a lot of credit, really, haven't you, after a very one-sided opening set?
Yeah. That's interesting. Her coach has been very vocal throughout that second set as well, more so than the first set. That we now know that that's been a rule change for a couple years, where the coach can interact with the player, speak to the player on the same side. And I actually feel like in this instance it's been very helpful for Dolehide just to get that feedback. I think most of it started with the acceleration on the forehand. She was not really getting much quick hands through the ball, and that started to change. And once that started to change, she started feeling a little bit more confident on the ground, started adding some more variety to her serve.
It's a nice start. Authoritative opening.
That one must have caught just part of the sideline. It's her 10th double fault of the match. She's been throwing in quite a few, especially in the second set. And Collins' coach, Ryan Harrison, starting to become a little bit more vocal, more just words of encouragement.
She's
gone pretty quiet all of a sudden, hasn't she? I wonder.
Collins, yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
I wonder whether that's her experience taking over and, you know, recognizing that maybe she just needs to conserve a bit of energy at this stage of the match. Especially if we have another set like we did in the second set, 78 minutes if you weren't with us for that. So one apiece. That was another good catch. Second we've had today inside this court. Give that maybe a 6 out of 10. It was a 9.5 that catch we had earlier today.
The previous one, yeah.
Out.
15.
Just about here, Ryan Harrison giving Danielle a few pointers on the return.
Yeah, just a reminder to continue going forward and don't let that ball push you back that much.
15.
That's where she's very good, is when she leans into quite a bit of these shots, especially into the return. So a reminder just to keep going after the ball.
Yes, also that's one of the reasons you take a bathroom break, right, isn't it? Just to calm things down mentally, try and get back into a better place, much calmer place, and that should in theory allow you to think more clearly and make better decisions.
Out. Very good. Very, very good. Come on. Always urgency with your football. Urgency with your football all the time. Come on.
It just changed her grip at the last moment. Looked like she was about to come over the ball, and just that moment of indecisiveness can create errors.
Starting to get into a good rhythm, Dolehide on serve, coming through these service games. Back into the second set, and so far early in this third. And it's another ticked off, and she can continue to hold. She will put Danielle Collins in an uncomfortable position in this third Grand Slam semi-finalist, with different partners as well. It gives you an indication of just what a good doubles player she is. This is Dolehide's 5th appearance at the US Open, 2018, 19, 20, 2023 and this year. A 6-time doubles semi-finalist. French Open, Wimbledon, and here at the US Open. A couple of those this year, as we mentioned, with Desiree Kravchuk. team third in the race at the moment. That's the race for the year-end championships. Perfection. It's a one-sided stat. 38 winners she's hit today. Did a lovely job with that final backhand pass. Just controlled the ball beautifully.
2 games all, final.
Well, so much of this was how quickly she got up to the ball as well and recovering from that short slice. And she had to take that ball early. It just didn't allow Dolehide to get her feet grounded and settled.
Time to quickly remind you where to find us online. Stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and WhatsApp as well. Join the conversation with hashtag US Open.
Out.
15.
That's that backhand again from that central position. Her ability to create the angle.
13-15.
Makes the put away easy. That makes the service game just a little trickier. Just about in control, but already got the feeling this third set's going to be tight, so it might only be a momentary lapse in focus. Decides it. Set all, 2-all, 30-all. This is a big point.
Yeah, very smart serve. Going to the forehand side, more of a kick. That's the one that's gotten her out of trouble numerous times.
Collins just starting to press in this 5th game.
I like the fact in that forehand, not going for a massive shot, was able to whip it a little bit more cross court with some spin and spread the court nicely.
Advantage, Collins.
So her first opportunity, first opportunity of this final set for either player. Can the 11th seed grasp this with both hands? No.
Surprised actually she tried to run around and take that as a forehand. She's been looking for that backhand to attack so often when she's had the ball into her body.
Instant realization that that was going a good distance long. Back to deuce.
Same serve, smart from Dolehide.
Advantage Dolehide.
Even if your opponent knows you might be hitting that target again, if it's working, just keep going, using that particular serve.
Another wild forehand. Dolehide survives.
Dolehide leads 3 games to 2 in the final set.
Go to the middle.
Rehydrating on a regular basis. Collins trailing 2-3 in this final set. Oh, what a shame after some incredible defense.
Sometimes you feel so off balance throughout a point, and you finally have time to hit the ball, and you know that's your chance to take it, and you can overhit sometimes. It was great scrambling from Dolehide. Yeah, very good changeup. Dolehide actually had time to come over that backhand. Was in an aggressive position, but opted for the off-pace slice. That's great accuracy and changeup on the second serve. That down the tee serve that players are starting to use a little bit more just to surprise the opponent.
Backhand side reliable that time.
New balls, please.
Levels once more. Sets all 3-all.
3 games all, final set.
New balls about to be introduced. Briefly mentioned where these two were in the draw. We're in the top half today. Result coming through from the players just below them in the draw. It's Sara Errani, the Italian, who's waiting for the winner of this match. She's come through already today. So a good year on the doubles court. Sara alongside Jasmine Paolini. What a
to win the gold medal.
yeah, absolutely.
It's an incredible run.
As well as success at Grand Slam level as well. What a period to be involved in Italian tennis. Three apiece, final set.
Very good.
15 love.
Collins' winner count matching the unforced errors after that most recent miss. 42 of each so far. Far fewer in both categories from Dolehide. 15 winners, 18 unforced.
Just getting some frustration out with some of these unforced errors. Now 43 from Collins. Wrong shot for, in my opinion, to go for. It was a bit of a mishit. The ball is going to be moving off the bounce. It's tough to time.
Done well on serve in this third set. Dolehide, 75% first serves made. Good success around the second serve as well when she's needed it. 5 of 6 of those points won. Comfortable holds at a crucial stage of this first round contest in New York. She's got the lead again as she heads to the chair. 4-3 this time. Of the 4 majors in this sport. Perilously close to going out to the draw in the first round, trailing 3-4 now, final set. Finalist in Australia at Grand Slam level. That was 2022. She made the semis back in 2019 in Melbourne. Quarter finalist at the French Open as well in the past. 4th round, last 16 has been her best effort here in New York. Reached that stage at Wimbledon this year, so second week at all 4 of the majors. She's teetering on the edge here. There's been too many misses today.
There has been quite a few unforced errors. I think ever since she lost that break of serve in the second set, she's showed more signs of frustration. The first set we saw all that positive energy. I almost would like to see her gain that back a little bit. I feel like that's where she starts to turn things around, is when she's giving herself that positive reinforcement.
Well, it was a sensible option, legitimate play.
It actually didn't hit that one with a ton of plays, just was really focused on the placement on the short ball. She's been outstanding on the stretch, on the backhand slice, to keep it nice and low.
Direct hits here to bring up. 2 chances to break. And there is the break, and maybe, just maybe, that will seal it for Dolehide.
Dolehide leads 5-3, final set.
Another outstanding get. Those were the shots that Dolehide wasn't really able to get her racket on in the first set, just moving so much better.
And if she can serve it out, then it will be a first US Open singles victory for the world number 49. She's in a great position now. 5-3. A hold of serve away. It feels right now like she's going to do it.
It feels that way, yeah. I mean, just watching Collins' demeanor this whole third set as well, you never got the sense that, you know, she was feeling 100% behind herself. That's a great deep return.
No, she's been unusually flat, hasn't she, emotionally, in this third set. There's still time, of course, but it's starting to run out. I'm also just starting to wonder what the end might look like if this game does slip away from Danielle Collins, and this is her final Grand Slam singles match. What the emotions might be like, whether it will be a quick exit, whether there'll be any kind of acknowledgement from the player that it's time to say goodbye to tennis at the majors. She's almost there.
14-15.
2 match points.
Thank you.
First one saved.
It's a very safe serve from Dolehide. Just a 75-mile-an-hour first serve. Going to the right spot, that forehand. But huge big return from Collins.
Match point number 2. Missed by some distance. Well, that's got to be tension.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not over after all. Back to deuce. More work to do. Well, cool as you like. Starting to turn this 9th game around.
Advantage Collins.
Amazing, just giving Collins that slight opening. Really nice 2 forehand cross courts in a row.
Chance to break now. Hasn't missed too many first serves in this third set. 79% made. It's calmly done.
And so well controlled.
Advantage Collins.
But again, none of the fire, is there? None of the passion that we often see from Danielle on a tennis court. But she's broken, and on we go. Remarkable 9th game, 2 match points saved. That's the message. Maybe they were just sensing there was a bit of tension and trying to close it out in that previous service game. 4-5 final sets. Good start to the game for Dolehide.
Yeah, I think in this game, if she gets that backhand, she's literally just going to use that slice as often as possible because it forces Collins to hit up and then allows Dolehide to be able to attack on the next ball.
Instructions are coming thick and fast now for coach, from coach, should I say, who, by the sounds of it, is feeling the tension, perhaps just as much as Caroline Dolehide was in the previous service game. Understandable, isn't it? It's a big deal. First US Open victory in singles. Never know where it's going to take you. It's the team.
Great hustle.
So here we go, 2 more chances. Can she wrap it up this time? Match point number 3 for the world's number 49.
Thank you.
Caroline Dolehide wins the battle of the Americans. It is the first ever US Open singles win for the world number 49, and it is a significant moment for Danielle Collins, of course. The number 11 seed is out, and that brings down the curtain on her Grand Slam career. It is Dolehide who goes through today, 6-4 in the third.
Well, I mean, what a moment for Caroline.